would never actually do this, like ever. But I think it's really important for people to see how words actually affect people. And I know everyone says, like, you can't read things and you shouldn't read things, but, like, I'm a fucking person. I'm just sitting here with my dog Tank watching HGTV, wearing my Snuggie. Like, people need to be nicer on social media, because it's really fucked up.
You let this little flirt out of your sight for 1 second and she starts shopping for a new papa. She could decide who her papa is. But we don't have to be apart ever again. What's it gonna be, girl, huh? Original recipe? Or Van Milder here? Ah, that's funny.
You better hope that you don't run into the Deadpool core.
Sydney Sweeney just unleashed a shockwave through Hollywood by revealing Ryan Reynolds' darkest secrets, ones that were supposed to remain buried forever. It wasn't something she planned, nor was she looking to start drama. But sometimes, fate has other ideas. It all unraveled on an unsuspecting flight from Paris to New York, and Sydney found herself trapped in a scandal she never asked for, becoming collateral damage overnight.
If they could only process their childhood trauma, they'd go on one heck of a healing journey.
Growing up, I was bullied a lot and made fun of, and some of my earliest memories are friends talking bad about me and me overhearing it, or people being mean to me or pushing me around, and that stuff stays with you.
I can gently tap the fourth wall too. The proposal.
I love you, but... Okay, light all the candles, she's coming now.
Fresh off the success of her groundbreaking Netflix project, Glass Chapel, Sydney boarded her flight back to the States on April 15th, 2025, feeling triumphant. The critics had finally embraced her talent, and Netflix executives buzzed excitedly about her career trajectory. Ryan Reynolds himself seemed equally pleased, proudly stepping away from his Deadpool persona and into a more serious role. But in Hollywood, triumph can vanish in a blink, and Sydney's bright future was about to turn pitch black.
Cause of death, 100 kill-thirsty Deadpools. But they can fight. Not me, though. I'd love to get in the mix, but I have low bone density and I have to keep my face safe. I identify as a feminist. My calling is to one day host a podcast that monetizes the women's movement.
This is the Man Enough Podcast.
It was on that seemingly routine flight that Sydney overheard Reynolds casually tearing down the carefully crafted facade of his marriage to Blake Lively. Reynolds, carelessly confident that no one was listening, openly admitted on a phone call, "I was never her husband. I was an image, a beard. It was all contractual." He didn't whisper or use cryptic language. He spoke plainly, oblivious to the disaster he'd just unleashed. Sydney didn't react, didn't flinch. She kept quiet, absorbed in disbelief, but discreet. Yet someone else listened, perhaps a studio executive, an eager assistant, or even a fellow actor looking for leverage. Whoever it was, they didn't hold back. Sydney was labeled a threat, not because she'd leaked the secret, but simply because she knew it. Within hours, Hollywood silently mobilized against her. Suddenly, scripts stopped arriving, calls ceased, emails went unanswered, projects she'd already been cast in mysteriously evaporated. Directors and producers abruptly ghosted her, and her agent was stonewalled without explanation. Overnight, Sydney became toxic, too close to a truth powerful people wanted erased. Netflix, eager to protect Reynolds' lucrative reputation, quietly marked Sydney as a high-discretion risk. The damage wasn't limited to just her acting roles. Dior, which had already shot half a campaign featuring Sydney, erased her presence completely. Internally, a Dior employee leaked a message exposing their intent. "We're pulling her visibility, brand neutrality." Without scandal or confrontation, she was quietly and effectively deleted from existence. Her once rising star was dimming rapidly. The Glass Chapel premiere, a night that should have been a crowning achievement for Sydney, became her public humiliation. On April 19th, despite preparations by her team, Sydney was handed a guest wristband instead of press credentials. Netflix claimed logistics issues. Ryan's arrival had allegedly shifted, and coverage was streamlined. No one officially mentioned Sydney's removal, yet she was erased entirely from press materials and promotional events. Her fans quickly noticed the glaring absence. Twitter exploded in outrage. Why is Sydney missing? Isn't she the lead? Her team scrambled to find answers, but none came. An assistant from her glam squad posted an emotional TikTok, swiftly deleted, lamenting the 4 hours spent perfecting Sydney's look for an event that completely ghosted her. Another PR junior shared a short-lived post highlighting an overheard comment from a producer. "We don't need Blake's enemies on this couch." As public confusion mounted, Blake Lively's team sprang into action with a strategic counter-narrative. On April 20th, Blake posted a flawlessly doctored Instagram image appearing to show her beside Ryan at the Glass Chapel premiere, except she had never been there. Metadata revealed the image was from a prior shoot in Los Angeles, yet the deception worked flawlessly. Major media outlets ran with the story, rewriting history without Sydney in it. Behind closed doors, the plot thickened. A leaked memo from Netflix confirmed the calculated erasure. Sydney Sweeney marked as unresolved discretion risk, instability confirmed through non-engagement pattern. Hollywood insiders whispered the truth, while publicly maintaining plausible deniability. A few days later, Sydney found herself in a chilling video call. Present were representatives from Netflix, Blake Lively's PR firm, and her own agent. Without formalities, they offered Sydney a sizable financial settlement in exchange for her silence, an 18-month gag order cloaked in a non-disparagement agreement. Sydney asked directly, "Did Blake send this?" The PR rep smiled enigmatically, confirming nothing explicitly but saying everything implicitly. Sydney closed her laptop without signing. Immediately following her refusal, Netflix methodically removed Sydney's name and images from all Glass Chapel promotional material. Quotes vanished, interviews canceled, her billing erased. Her carefully crafted career was dismantled piece by piece. Then, as if adding insult to injury, a cryptic tweet appeared. "Heard a certain actress declined a peace clause this week. Not a great look?" Blake's stylist briefly commented beneath it, "Short lull," instantly sparking viral speculation. Fans rallied around Sydney, creating the hashtag #HowSheDidn'tSign, which rapidly trended across social media. They posted side-by-side comparisons of Netflix's altered promotional images, highlighting Sydney's forced disappearance. A leaked photo of Sydney meeting with Reese Witherspoon, herself a veteran of Hollywood's brutal PR battles, stirred even more speculation. Rumors quickly spread of an Apple TV Plus limited series involving Witherspoon and Nicole Kidman, with Sydney reportedly set to star. Meanwhile, Reynolds' image began to crumble under the weight of public backlash. Investors quietly withdrew from his upcoming projects, citing a perception shift. Blake's cryptic posts defending her husband only fueled the fire, drawing more criticism than support. Sydney's fan edits on social media began outperforming official promotional content, further damaging Reynolds' public persona. Finally, Sydney broke her silence in a blockbuster announcement. Partnering with the no-nonsense network RTM, she confirmed an explosive tell-all interview set to air the following week. No NDAs, no filters, just raw, uncut truth supported by meticulous evidence. Sydney declared defiantly, "I stayed quiet because I thought silence would protect me. It didn't. It protected them." Producers at RTM teased that Sydney's interview would include direct revelations about Hollywood's practice of contractual marriages, image manipulation, and systemic silencing of those who threaten powerful brands. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds remained silent as studios braced for the fallout. The truth they desperately tried to suppress was now roaring back to life. With her career brutally sabotaged, but her resolve stronger than ever, Sydney Sweeney had turned victimhood into vindication. The narrative had finally flipped in her favor, shifting the spotlight from her erasure to Hollywood's sordid mechanisms of power. Sydney wasn't just surviving, she was rewriting Hollywood's darkest script, reclaiming the story they tried to steal from her.